Hey everyone, how's it going? My name is James and welcome back to the Soundline. So today what I'm going to be talking to you guys about is Sonos's, a couple of new Sonos products that have come out over the past 2 months, and also the new app that they have released along with them. They're basically just newer generations of some of their existing products as they're going to start phasing out the older ones. So we have a new soundbar called the Arc to replace the Playbar. We have the successor to the Play 5 Gen 2, which is known as just the 5. They also released a new third generation subwoofer, and the new app, which is just called the S2 app, but now you can just find it on the App Store under Sonos. Okay, so we're going to start off by looking at the Arc, which is replacing the Playbar, as I mentioned. Starting off from the outside, you can notice the form factor has changed significantly. It is quite a bit longer than the Sonos Playbar is, and they've done that so that it fits better under larger TVs and looks a bit more aesthetically pleasing. It is just about the right length to go underneath a 55-inch, but you can also put it under a 65 or a 75 if you wanted, and it wouldn't look too out of place. In terms of features, they have also added in compatibility with Amazon Alexa and Google Assistant with a microphone array built right into it, so you don't need a separate Amazon device for it to work. They added a nice wee button on the top of it for you to turn off the microphones, and something Sonos have mentioned to us for those of you who are concerned that Amazon hoard your data and listen in all the time. If you hit the microphone button and the LED turns off, that means that the power supply to the microphone is turned off because the LED is linked to the power supply for the microphone. So you can be sure whenever that is off that no one is listening. In terms of speakers, they have changed it quite a bit. The Arc has a few new features in that sense. It now has a speaker on either side of the soundbar, firing out towards the left and right walls, which gives it a much wider soundstage and, you know, much more grander sense of sound. It also has a couple of upward firing speakers in it as well, so that you can use it for Dolby Atmos. In terms of connections on the back, they've made a few changes from the Playbar. They have removed the second Ethernet port so that you can no longer connect other Sonos devices or TVs directly off it. They've reserved that Ethernet port just to supply network connection to the Arc itself. They've also removed the Toslink optical connection and replaced it with an eARC HDMI connection. eARC connection also works with older TVs that have just standard ARC connection, or if your TV doesn't have HDMI ARC connection, you can use it with an HDMI to optical adapter, which is available for separate purchase. In terms of sound, I have had a quick listen to it myself to compare it to the Playbar, and I'm quite a critical listener, but I'll say that listening to it, it is actually, you know, pretty decent. In terms of how it compares up to the Playbar, it has a much more open, wider and more detailed soundstage to it, so it's a bit clearer and easier to listen to. Specifically for TV, I would have to say listening to it for music, for me, it felt a similar experience to the Playbar, but in terms of TVs, it was much clearer and easier to listen to. In regards to the 5, the replacement for the Play 5 Gen 2, from what we can tell, there really isn't much difference between the two. Yes, there is a little bit of sound quality increase with newer audio components in the amplifier and the preamplifier section of the electronics. But in terms of the form factor, the only things that have really changed is they have replaced the front grille from a charcoal one with just a black one for the black model. And if you opt for the white one, that has a full white grille as well. And then the only other thing that I can see that they really changed is the logo is now a 3D standoff logo as opposed to it being stuck on this little strip here. In terms of connections, the 5 still has its auxiliary input and the power connector and the Ethernet connector, just the same as the Play 5 Gen 2. One other feature that I thought I might mention, because not everyone knows this, all of Sonos's wireless speaker range can be paired up to make a stereo pair of speakers for a left channel and a right channel. So you can have 2 1s paired together, 2 Play 5s paired together, or 2 5s paired together. They have also released a new subwoofer just called the Sub G3. In terms of what's different about that, we don't have it in stock yet, so I can't say much about the sound quality. I will have to get it in and test it myself and then let you guys know. But I know that they have updated it to work with the new software or the new app that they've released, and they have replaced the little tactile button on the front with the capacitive touch ones to match the rest of their range. On that note, I want to briefly talk about the new app, which has now replaced their current one. It's just called the Sonos app, and they have renamed the old one that we've all been used to the S1 app. So you can find the new app in the App Store or in the Google Play Store just by searching Sonos. And it has a bit of a facelift to it, you'll notice when you go into it. Slightly different icons and background and that sort of stuff. I imagine there's a lot of technical stuff going on in the background which makes the app run a lot smoother. But in terms of operating it and like the feeling of the app, it feels very familiar to the previous one. So if you are worried about moving from one app to the other, don't be, it'll be very easy, you'll be able to figure it out in a flash. So with this new app, there are some compatibility issues with the new software and some of the older hardware. So there are some of the older products like the Connect amp and everything predating them, like the Bridge, the ZP90s and 80s and those zone controllers. Those will not work with the new app. But Sonos were aware of this and they didn't want to sting anyone, so they have made a trade-up program, which means you can go onto a web portal, you can register the serial number of your old Sonos Connect, and that will allow you to get a 30% discount on a new Sonos product. You can choose any new Sonos product and you get 30% off it. You can buy it at a registered Sonos retailer, and that way you can use everything with the new app. So thanks very much for watching this video, guys. We will put links down in the description to the list, to the full list of new features that you can find in the new app, as well as a link to our website detailing some more information about the Sonos trade-up program if you're interested in that. Again, thanks for watching. I hope you found this video useful or at least somewhat entertaining. I'll catch you in the next video, guys. Ka kite anō.